Today we're going back to the one that started it all for the Resident Evil series. So make sure you've packed plenty of healing items as we dive into the world of survival horror. Welcome to the channel guys, and welcome to my review of Resident Evil Director's Cut. Before we get into the review, I feel some backstory is needed here to explain how and why we got a director's cut of the original Resident Evil in the first place. After the huge success of Resident Evil, Capcom realised they had something special on their hands, so they got to work immediately on making a sequel, Resident Evil 2. The development for the game was not quite going to plan. Shinji Mikami, Resident Evil creator, was now producer for Resident Evil 2, letting Hideki Kamiya step into the director's chair. The story goes, with the game roughly 80% done and nearly ready to release, Shinji walked into the studio one day and decided he didn't like what he saw and convinced Capcom to pull the plug, starting nearly from scratch. Of course, Resident Evil 2 would now need more time in the oven, releasing a year later than expected. Fearing backlash from the fans, Capcom had to fill the void to keep them happy. So marketing began to the world, through gaming mags and TV ads, revealing that this extra game being made is Resident Evil like you've never seen it before, an enhanced version if you would, promising a full colour FMV intro and also uncensored in the West this time, and have various modes, and it was to release in 1997 instead of Resident Evil 2. Well, with the backstory out of the way, let's check out the game.
Alpha Team is flying around the forest zone situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we're searching for the helicopter of our compatriots Bravo Team, who disappeared during the middle of our mission. No, I haven't found it yet. Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. Bravo Team went to the hideout of the group and disappeared.
Look, Chris!
It was Bravo Team's helicopter. Nobody was in it. But strangely, most of the equipment was still there. However, we soon discovered why.
With the discovery of Bravo Team's crashed helicopter amongst the dark, silent backdrop of Raccoon's forest, Alpha Team were beginning to think they weren't alone. Something was watching them. Things only got worse though when Alpha Team helicopter pilot Brad Vickers decided to leave the area, flying into the night. Then out of nowhere, the team are jumped by what looks like mutated dogs. With nowhere left to go, they head for a mansion, led by Captain Wesker. Chris, Jill, Barry and Wesker enter the mansion, thinking they're now safe. Little did they know, the nightmare had just begun. As the plot unravels, we discover the mansion is being used to test bioweapons, and a corrupt pharmaceutical company called Umbrella is behind it all. Also, our very own Captain Wesker is involved with the experiments, leading the Alpha Stars members to the mansion to see if they can survive against the horrors inside it. I knew Wesker was dodgy. I mean, what sort of a guy wears sunglasses at night, right? I've often heard people say how simple Resident Evil 1's story is, and I often think, a group of Special Elite Stars members trapped in a mansion filled with shambling zombies and bioweapons, all waiting to kill you as you try to survive and escape. Uncovering Umbrella's dark secrets sounds great to me. I mean, two of my favourite movies of all time use this setup, having a group of people isolated and having to survive, so seeing it in a game is brilliant. Upon starting a new game, you'll have a choice of two STARS members to pick from, Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield. There's 3 difficulties to pick from. Training, which is easy mode, giving you lots of extra healing and ammo scattered around the mansion. Standard is your normal difficulty, and a brand new advanced mode. This is the hard difficulty, and it's an absolute treat for returning players of the original 1996 Resident Evil. You see, advanced mode completely switches up where key items are located, so players who have mastered standard mode will need more than just muscle memory to get through this game. So if you're like me and have beat the original Resident Evil so many times that you've got the Spencer Mansion mapped out in your head, advanced mode will be like playing the game fresh again and really test your skills. It's fantastic. Resident Evil 7 brought this mode back with Madhouse mode, which also mixes item locations and a harder difficulty is added, and it was also great. I wish every Resident Evil game had this mode. Gameplay will have you exploring the mansion for ways to progress. On your journey you'll find a lot of locked doors, so keys will have to be found. I really like how Capcom did this. You see, the mansion has 2 floors, an east and a west wing, breaching off its main hall, with different types of doors in each section. The keys you find have symbols carved into them, matching the corresponding doors, so you know where to use them. No hand holding, just great game design, perfect. As well as keys, key items are needed also. Most are found by exploring, and some are locked behind puzzles. This game's where this style of gameplay loop started, and it's still going strong in most of the Resident Evil games that followed to this very day. You'll need to be on the lookout for weapons, ammo and healing items in the form of herbs and first aid sprays to stay alive. Another important aspect of Resident Evil are the item boxes. You'll find them in save rooms. Get familiar with their locations because Chris and Jill have limited space in their inventories. Jill has 8 slots, making her playthrough easier, and Chris hardly has any slots with 6, making his playthrough harder. Whichever character you play as though, you'll be dropping items off and taking what you need out a lot. Planning your route with the right items equipped is crucial in survival horror, and a lot of fun. Ink ribbons can be found. These are the only way to save your game at these typewriters. Make every save count, as you never know where your next ink ribbon is coming from. Resident Evil has a good variety in its locations, starting in the Spencer Mansion, then making your way through the courtyard into the residence area. Next is a cave section, and finally you'll find yourself in a secret underground lab. All these locations are thick with an atmospheric feel and interesting to explore. Enemies here are some of the most iconic in the series, and it's all thanks to the deadly T-virus. Zombies lurk around every corner, mutated dogs chase you down, deadly hunters roam the areas wanting to destroy you, and then there's mutated bosses. A poisonous giant plant, a massive snake, a giant spider, and the ultimate life form, Tyrant. so plenty of variety to keep you on your toes. I'd say it's definitely worth playing through both Chris and Jill's campaign, as they have small differences. Inventory space makes a difference in challenge, as mentioned before. Each character has a different story beat, but you always follow the same progression point. Chris interacts with a Bravo team member who survived, named Rebecca Chambers, and she's a medic, so can heal you from time to time. Jill interacts with Barry Burton, a member of the Alpha Stars team. He gives you ammo at a certain point in the game, and even saves Jill's ass from being flattened.
Help me, please. The door won't open. Quick!
Stay away from the door, Jill. I'm gonna kick this door down. Hurry! This way!
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right.
Okay. Talking of Barry, I suppose we should talk about the voice acting then. Yeah, I can't defend it. It's awful. I mean, I love it in a sort of nostalgia way, and it's so bad it's good. But it clashes with the great horror and dread atmosphere of the game. Thankfully, Resident Evil Remake fixed this years later. Here's a few more examples of this game's voice acting. Enjoy.
Oh, Jill, this house is dangerous. There are terrible demons. Ouch!
You're wounded. What kind of demon attacked you?
It was a huge snake and also poisonous.
Poisonous? Oh, no. Richard, hold on.
Rebecca, you're safe.
I saw you in the garden. I've caught up with you at last.
Well, I'm glad you're all right. Don't go out alone.
Yes, sir.
That's right. This is the ultimate life form. Tyrant! Chris? Stop it.
Wesker, you're pitiful.
Other than the new beginner's advanced mode added, Director's Cut also added new camera angles, a higher chance of the handgun getting headpots, and it's really satisfying. Auto aim is now on for all guns, and we get new starting costumes in advanced mode as well. Okay, so remember at the start of the video when I said fans were promised an uncensored version of the FMV intro for the Director's Cut? Well, Capcom completely messed this up, releasing Director's Cut with the censored version from the original. Apparently, when making the game, the wrong file was used, and evidently nobody at Capcom checked for this mistake before they released the game. To make up for their mistake, Capcom gave out free Resident Evil t-shirts and merchandise to the fans who bought Director's Cut. I suppose it's good they admitted their mistake, but it's still unforgivable for a massive developer to make a rookie error. Director's Cut did come packed with something really cool though, a Resident Evil 2 demo disc. You have 10 minutes to explore the RPD. I might stream it one day to see how far into the game we can get. Anyway, it's very cool and a nice collector's piece. Resident Evil uses classic fixed camera angles and tank controls. Personally, I love this style. The fixed camera adds tension to the game as you're not in control of it and only see the game the way the devs intended. Tank controls can take some getting used to for players who didn't grow up with them. You use the D-pad to move forward and backwards and turn around. Once you get the hang of it, it'll be like second nature to you, I promise. Resident Evil uses pre-rendered backgrounds with 3D character models. These models haven't aged too well going back to them today. Looking very blocky, which the PS1 was known for. But the pre-rendered backgrounds, they still look great. And as much as I love the modern Resident Evil game's graphics, there's just something special about pre-rendered backgrounds for me. The Resident Evil franchise as a whole has some incredible music soundtracks, and let me tell you, this first entry in the series has some of the very best tracks. Have a listen. Alright, time for my final thoughts. The original Resident Evil got 3 versions made for the PlayStation 1, and I definitely say Director's Cut is the one I always go back to play. It has everything the original has, and adds the brilliant advanced mode that makes replay value feel really fresh, even when playing today. And although the Resident Evil remake is incredible, it doesn't outright replace the original for me. So I still highly recommend Resident Evil Director's Cut, and will always treasure it for starting me on my journey through Resident Evil. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you all on the next one.
Chris!